Hello everyone, this is the homework number 25 video for Im1. For number 1, A, B, C, D, you're supposed to describe the transformation fully. So be sure to first recognize which figure is the original, which is the transformed image. For translation, describe the left, right, and up and down shift. For reflection, describe the line of reflection. For rotation, describe the direction, amount, and center of rotation. All those things needs to be described, and you can use tracing paper to verify. Okay, so let's start with A. Okay, what's going on here? Do you see that this is not a reflection? Because if it was, the y prime will be at the bottom here, not at the top. Okay, actually first we should figure out which is the original, which is the new. This is going to be original. How do we know? Because we have y versus y prime. The prime notation tells me this is after the transformation. So original became the transform. What happened to it? To do this, we need to figure out, is it translation, reflection, or rotation? It's not reflection. I can't put a mirror here that's going to create the same image. It's not rotation, but notice the orientation has not changed at all. So this is translation. It's as if this top figure has just moved to the bottom. By how many? So to do that, you need to get the corresponding point, y and y prime. It just went down by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it went down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units down. So translation, 7 units down. And there's no left and right movement. Okay, so and then I'm supposed to use the tracing paper to verify. And I can draw my shape here. And if I just move this down, and that's what's happening, it matches up. It maps right on top. Okay, so that confirms translation. What about B? What do you see? Well, F and F prime, they correspond to each other. G and G prime, they correspond to each other. H and H prime, they correspond to each other. So this is my original. And this is after transformation. Okay, so it went. Now look at the orientation. G is at the top, G prime is at the top. H is at the bottom right, H prime is at the bottom right. And F is on the left, and F prime is on the left. So the orientation hasn't changed. It's as if the shape just moved. If I was to look at F and F prime, it moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 to the left. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 down. So this is translation. Of 6 units left and 6 units down. And again, I can trace this shape. And I can move this 1 to the left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to down, and that maps on top of the shape. Alright, then C. What is the rotation? What is the transformation? Notice the corresponding parts. T and T prime right there. S and S prime. V and V prime. Okay, so notice that the orientation has changed. The original is this because we don't have the prime notation. So this is my original. And after the transformation, it became this image here. The prime notation tells us that. Looking at U and U prime, they're very close to each other. So it could be reflection, maybe like this. Okay? See if you can get a mirror. If you have a mirror at home, see if you can create a mirror and see if you get the same image. If it was a reflection, let's just pretend that this is a reflection and let's see if it will work. Okay, so can I flip it in such a way? Okay, so U and U prime needs to match up. And when they do match up, it looks like this. It's not a reflection. Okay, so it cannot be a reflection. So maybe it's a rotation. To check that, I am going to draw my axis to figure out how many degrees. So let's assume that it's origin. Let's see. That's 90 degrees. And that's 180 degrees, and it maps right on top. So that means it's a rotation of 90 degrees. Oh, I'm sorry, not 90 degrees, that's 180 degrees. And we don't have to specify direction because with 180 degrees, whether you go clockwise or anti-clockwise does not make difference, but you do need to specify the center of origin. Center of origin was, or center of rotation was origin, so around the origin, and that's right there. Okay, and then what about this shape? Okay, which is the original? Q, Q prime, F, F prime tells me this is my original. And so let's see. Okay, if I have this shape, okay, and if I was to rotate it, it would look like this. It's not a rotation, but hopefully you can see that this is a reflection about the y-axis. It's a mirror image when you reflect it across the y-axis. So it is reflection over y-axis. So this is the line of reflection. It's as if you're flipping it from left to right. Okay, now for number 2, for triangles VWX with coordinates given in the table, calculate the coordinates of the translated triangle V prime, W prime, X prime using the rule X, Y becomes X, Y minus 4. Then sketch both triangles to visually verify the translation. So when you see this, just some number being added or subtracted, we know this is translation. So from this notation, we expect, what do we expect the translation to be? There is no X movement, that's no horizontal movement. Because X remains the same, but Y changes by subtracting 4. But there is down by 4 because it's negative 4. Negative 4 going down means it's going, negative 4 is going down by 4 units. So that's what we would expect. But let's put the coordinates first. Okay, so X stays the same. That's what it says. So whatever the X was, original X was, it's going to be the final X coordinate. For the Y coordinate, you're going to be subtracting 4 from it. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. 0 minus 4 is negative 4 again. Okay, and so again, we are expecting this. And let's see if we get that. Okay, so the original is 1 0. Let's put the point here. 1 0, 1 0 is right here. That's my V. And 2 3, 2 3 is right here, and that's W. And X is 5 0. 5 0 is here. Okay, so my shape would, the original shape looks like this. And let's plot the transformed. V prime is 1 negative 4 is right here, so that's my V prime. W prime is 2 negative 1, and X is 5 negative 4. X prime. So, and then if I draw my shape, okay, and you can visually verify that there was no horizontal movement, but it is indeed the translation of this original blue shape to purple by shifting it down 4 units, and that's what we expected. Alright, so then number 3, for triangles BCD with corners given in the table, calculate the corners of the B prime, C prime, D prime rotated by 90 degrees clockwise using the rule XY becomes Y negative X. Then sketch both triangles to visually verify. Okay, so the first thing we expect is X and Y to flip. Okay, so whatever X was becomes Y, and so it's going to be negative 5 and 1, negative 4 and 4, and negative 3 and negative 1. But on top of that, the Y becomes the negative version of the flipped. Okay, so you have to take a negative of negative 5, it becomes positive, negative of negative 4 is positive, and negative of negative 3 is positive 3. Okay, so then let's put the graph this. Okay, negative 5 comma 1 is here, that's B prime. C is negative 4 and positive 4. Oops, this should be B prime. Okay, not that. And then D is negative 3, 1. D is negative 3 comma negative 1. So it looks like this. That's my D. Okay, so this is not B prime, this is just regular. And then B prime is 1 positive 5. 1 positive 5 is right here. 4 positive 4. 4 positive 4 is right here, so that's C prime. And D prime is negative 1 and positive 3 is right there. And that's D prime. Okay, alright, does it look like it is rotation 90 degrees clockwise? And if I was to use the tracing paper, I can confirm that. Okay, so if I was to rotate it, it matches up 90 degrees clockwise. Alright, then finally in this problem you will figure out the transformation rule for reflection across the x-axis by analyzing how the coordinate changed. Okay, so what is the coordinate of the original Q? The coordinate of original Q is negative 2, negative 5. R is negative 4, negative 4, negative 1. S is negative 5, negative 5. Okay, what about R prime? Okay, Q prime is negative 2, positive 5. And R prime is -4, +1, and S prime is -5.